Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good evening. Welcome here. So this is the Funeral Support Services Awareness Session organized by MMAC in collaboration with Fsso and sponsored by Government of Canada. My name is Amina and I will be your host for this evening. Thank you so much for joining us on a Friday night. I'm sure that the valuable information that will be discussed here will be well worth your time. Before we begin, I'd just like to quickly introduce MMAC for folks who may be new here. So MMAC is a community building organization that caters to the religious, social, as well as cultural needs of the Malayali Muslim community and sometimes wider communities as well. And MMAC has been collaborating with Fsso, or the Funeral Support Services Organization, that provides the much needed supports to families of deceased individuals regarding funerals. And today we're joined by guests who can walk us through everything that you need to know to avail FSSO services. So first, we will have Sister Yasmine Merchant, who will share with us the basics of enrolling into the Funeral Support Services program. Sister Yasmine is a very familiar face to all of us here at MMAC. She is a community member, an educator, as well as a very generous sponsor of many of our past events. So Sister Yasmine, take it away.
Jazakallah khairan, Amina. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So I'm just going to talk about the basics, and alhamdulillah, we have a member from FSSO who will be giving us more details. So as stated, FSSO stands for the Funeral Support Services Organization. And it was started on December 1st in 2014 to create, it was created to relieve members of the financial burden at the time of the death in a family, and in so doing, relieve the family of the logistics in arranging the burial at such an emotional time. Now, in order to become a member, one must be a Canadian citizen, a PR holder, or a super visa or student visa holder residing in Ontario and be at least 19 years of age. At the outset, a membership application form must be filled out, and it asks for only very simple particulars like name and address, as well as the name of the spouse and children if that applies, and for banking info. And along with it, you will be making a payment of $100 plus $25 admin fee, which is to be paid by the principal member. I'm sorry if I'm going fast. All the information is so easy to understand. It's on their website. Now, there is an additional cost of $25 for the spouse and for any child who is under the age of 19 that is to be added to the principal member's application. So as soon as you sign up and you filled out the form and you've paid your membership dues, there is an initial 3-month waiting period during which time funeral expenses won't be covered if the member should pass away. But once enrolled and after that 3-month period, whenever a member passes away, all the other members will be notified by email about the time and venue of the janazah. At that time, the total burial cost will be calculated, and then it is distributed among all the principal members as their reimbursement share. And the cost will never be greater than $15 for any one funeral. And it will be deducted 5 working days from the initial death notification. So in case of death, whether at home or at the hospital, all the family member needs to do is to notify FSSO, and they'll make the necessary burial arrangements upon receipt of the death certificate. The costs that will be reimbursed for those under 65 will be maximum $6,000. And for those over 65, it will be maximum $3,000. Also, it's important to note that all members will contribute $15 at the start of every year, January 1st, to help cover administrative costs that's incurred. Now, This is the main and basic information that's necessary to just join and become a member. I think that as a community, I personally can speak about the financial and emotional shock that a family goes through at such a vulnerable time, such as the death of a loved one. So it's so commendable that we have an organization like FSSO that's created this program and is doing just that, providing that financial ease and support. Also the emotional support at such a vulnerable time. So I would like to conclude by thanking FSSO in administering the program and MMAC for collaborating with FSSO to bring awareness and hopefully more members to join the community. And so it eases the cost and the burden for the community as a whole. For further details, you can log on to MMAC's website, which is malayalimuslims.ca, or to FSSO's website, which is very simple, fsso.ca. Okay, so that's just my portion. I know is so quick. And if you have questions, feel free to type those in or let the administrator know, and they will be happy to answer your questions. Jazakallah khairan. Back to you, Amina.
Thank you so much, Sister Yasmine, for providing us information about basics of enrollment and also putting things into perspective by sharing your personal experience. We really appreciate it. And today we have with us Brother Muhammad Naimuddin. So before inviting Brother Naimuddin for a brief presentation, as Sister Yasmine mentioned, I just want all of us to take a moment to appreciate the important work that is being done by FSSO, especially considering how in Islam, facilitating funeral services is considered a fard kifaya, which is a communal obligation. So organizations like FSSO are essentially fulfilling this obligation on behalf of all of us, and they're doing it with such excellence. So without further ado, I will hand over to Brother Naimuddin to tell us a little bit about how the organization came to be, what the thought was behind the organization, and what their work is, and where they're at now, and where they're going in the future. And as Sister Yasmine mentioned, in the meanwhile, if you have any questions, feel free to type them into the chat box. At the end, you will also have an opportunity to unmute and ask your questions if you want to put your own voice out there. But we'll just listen to Brother Naimuddin for about 10 minutes, and then he will answer any and all questions that we have. Brother Naimuddin, all yours. Brother Naimuddin, I'm going to ask you to unmute, please.
That's okay?
Yes, we can hear you now.
How come I don't automatically click on this? Anyway, thank you very much, Amina. And at the same time, I'd like to thank Sister Merchant. She has given wonderful brief of the overall concept of the funeral support services organization, except few things that I would like to clear more here. So going back, the reasons why we established this. We have been checking in the mosque and the social circles, people were asking and begging for money for someone who passed away. So I myself, 2 or 3 times, because I'm socially involved, so people they call me, Muhammad Naimuddin bhai, one guy passed away. We have 4 children, and we need help for their burial. Then I will communicate with all my friends. Then I gather the money, and then I used to take care of that. Then I give some serious thought. And it was an eye-opening for me because I have experienced 3 or 4 cases. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, subhanahu wa ta'ala guided me. With few very dedicated friends, what we decided, why should not we establish an organization giving a very respectable way for anyone to become a member? Then there is no need for the family to worry about it. Alhamdulillah, our concept was welcomed very well. First of all, we completed all the government formalities, federal government, provincial government, Revenue Canada. I mean, all these numbers, registration number, everything we got on the system. Then we started exploring the idea to we went to mosque, we went to community centers, everywhere. Alhamdulillah, with the help of Allah, up till now, as I mentioned before, we have 5,700 members. I mean, we have the responsibility of their burial. So, Alhamdulillah, up till now, we have taken care of 27 burial cases. And in return, what we got? We got dua, at the day cemetery, when the people go there, then people ask who made the arrangement. Then the family of the deceased, this is funeral support services organization and did not charge even a single penny. So very simple way. At one window, we have the people like simply the procedure is if something happens, if you become a member, if something happens, God forbid, if someone passes away, just give us a call. In the meantime, you have to give a call to 911 as well. Then 911 will come. They will check in the hospital or at home. They will check everything. They will give a burial certificate. After that, our duty starts. Within 10 minutes, our people from the mosque, from the nearest mosque, they go to the house, pick up the body, bring the body to the mosque, wrestle them and boxes and everything, whatever preparation needed, they do it very well. Then they ask the family, please, when you want the burial. Sometimes the family says, my daughter or my son is coming from this state, from this state, just hold the body one day. We do have the cold storage in every mosque where we have the arrangement. So alhamdulillah, in this way, we are taking care of that. Correcting Sister Merchant, from 1st of November, inshallah, we will not discriminate anymore. I've explained the reason before why we put 40% for the seniors registering after 1st of March. Alhamdulillah, now we have decided we'll give them 100% coverage, not 50%, not 3,000, up to 6,000 to all seniors. We'll respect them, we'll give them more facilities. So that's what we have decided. And the membership fees, $100 is basic membership fees for the head of the family and $25 for admin fees. Then wife and kids under 19, they're 25. Well, whatever, in one case, I just give you an example, 3 months before, one person, he just registered with his wife and 3 kids. What you call, all of a sudden, her wife got sick or something. She passed away after 3 months. $25 they paid, and he covered $6,000 for them. So the guy, he called me and he was so much thankful to me. So here, but those who don't know about it, my request to you all, please spread this information to everybody. We are non-profit organization. We don't have any other source of income. We are doing whatever some people they have donated, like pledge does, that $50 or $25. Now from 1st of January, because people they wanted to come and meet us. Nowadays, COVID-19, so we just avoided that. And we told them that we have 2 home-based offices, one in Milton and one in Brampton. Brampton, I'm taking care. In Milton, my brother Nasiruddin Sheikh, he's taking care. He's a founding member. So then we decided, why shouldn't we have an office, proper office outside? Moving from home office to main office. So in that case, we found out there are some expenses, about $2,000 to $3,000. So our fund doesn't permit that we should have every month this much amount. So we requested all the members or registered members, this is what we are planning. Can you contribute $1.5 per month? This is no problem, you just take it. But so they unanimously give us consent. They take $15 in January for the whole year. So that's how we got some fund now, and we are planning now to get some rented office or just office on to own that on the mortgage. Like we will pay 25-30%, and we will have that office on the mortgage, so that ultimately that property will be ours. So that's what the situation is now, sister. So if you have any questions, anybody has anything, please come forward and I'll definitely reply.
Thank you so much, Brother Naimuddin. So we do have a few questions that were submitted before the event, and I see that questions are also coming into the chat box. So I will start with the pre-submitted list first, and then we'll move on to chat and also to anybody that might want to unmute and ask the question. I'm also monitoring the YouTube chat. There's around 200 people listening, so feel free to also input your question in the YouTube chat.
Oh, I mean, during this course, I can do that too, or later on?
Sorry?
During the course of conference, I can do that to reply to the chat, or later on?
Oh, no, I can read out the question to you and you can verbally respond to it.
Okay, please go ahead. Yeah, thank you.
So the first question that we have here is, what is the process if someone in this program passes away in another country?
That's something very different. This procedure is only applicable in Ontario province because we got the permission for Ontario. So we do not support those who pass away in other countries. So that's our bylaws. That's what our rules and regulations.
Okay. And the next question, I think you've already touched on this, but I'll ask anyways, just so that it's an opportunity to reinforce the information.
My pleasure.
Why do seniors above the age of 65 only get $3,000, and how does this amount suffice for their funeral?
Thank you very much. I just cleared when I was speaking about from 1st of November, Alhamdulillah, we had a meeting. We gave serious thought, and I explained the reason why we did that. But now things have changed. We have grown. We have the number increased from two. When we implemented this, at that time we have 495 members. Now we have 670 members. So Alhamdulillah, we give serious thought. We should give due respect to seniors, and we should give them more facility. So in the last board meeting on Sunday, we have decided, inshallah, from 1st of November, we will issue a notification. I mean, there is no senior or junior. Everybody will be given 100% funeral support, and will bear the cost of 100%. Those who have registered before, or there are those who are registering afterward. Everybody will get 100% coverage. This is what we have decided, sister.
Perfect. The next question: with passage of time, the expense for services will go up. And how does FSSO plan on having enough funds when such a time arrives?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Every year when we have a board meetings, we just review the prevailing market situation. Previously, it was $5,000. Previously, in the beginning, it was $5,000. But gradually, we saw the cemeteries, they increase every year, 10%, 5% for the grave, for the purchase of grave. So Alhamdulillah, that's what we covered this, and we brought this last year from 5,000 to 6,000. Now again, this 6,000 will continue how long? I mean, we are still continuously watching the market. We are continually watching the trend of the cemetery. And next year, inshallah, if we feel that now 6,000 are not enough, definitely we will increase the limit. We'll make sure that we do pay 100%. For example, nowadays sometimes cost 6,300 in Markham and Scarborough area, 6,400, but we never asked the family to pay us $400 extra or $300 extra. We just kept quiet and we just paid them all the coverage. So likewise, it is limit means on the paper, but when it happens in practical, like someone passes away and family, the cost is coming for 6,000 over, we'll pay them up to a reasonable limit. Then next year we'll review the prevailing market situation, and hopefully we may bring it up to 6,500 or 7,000. See, so I mean, the cost is that's not a big difference. Big worry for us. Now, inshallah, gradually we will take care of it. And our members, they are so kind. This time, what happened when we deducted $8? This is why you deduct $8? You should take more. I said no. Whatever the reimbursement cost share comes, we'll take care of that. So this is, if you need, you can take more from our account. He says no. So this way, if we increase 7,000 this time, the cost will go hardly maybe 50 cents, or maybe $1. So that's nothing. I mean, members, they will love to pay. They will love to pay. So don't worry, inshallah. Next year, possibly we'll come to that point. Jazakallah.
Perfect. The next question. Is there full coverage for transportation of the body from any part of Ontario to the victim's place?
Okay, this is what, within Ontario, currently in the cities, we are here, Mississauga and Windsor or whatever it is, we do take care of that. We do take care of that. I mean, like, go to east to west, Ontario province, we'll take care. I mean, Toronto or Ontario area. But if someone passes away in Richmond Hill, or someone passes away in Calgary and some other city, that is the problem. In that case, they have to bear the cost of bringing the body from there to Toronto area, and they have to share it. Like whatever for example, our estimate is $1,200. So if the cost comes out $2,000 to bring the body from there, so extra $800 the family has to pay.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
The next question is from someone who is eagerly waiting to volunteer with FSSO. They're wondering if your organization is looking for new volunteers and if you happen to be training new volunteers at this time.
Okay, that's very good questions and very good. Thank you, that brother, who volunteers for their services. And we have second line group, like we have trained the second line group. I mean, in that group, there are youngsters, IT technicians, IT specialists, and some accounting work, and some of them especially in accounting. And so these lines we have developed already. For God forbid something happens, these guys will take care. Even we have trained 3 persons, like how to deal with the bank. They have given us the program. When someone passes away, how to deal with the bank, how to fill up the requirement of the bank to take the reimbursements from members. So we have 2 persons down there. That is very important area. So like volunteers, I mean, we will definitely welcome them. But now, for the time being, we have 2 groups ready now. So inshallah, I mean, they can register their name if you want. They can send an email that I would like to volunteer for funeral support service organization. We'll be too glad to welcome him. And whenever we need that, we'll definitely call him, contact him, and they give him a brief. I mean, there's no problem at all.
Thank you so much for that information. All finance specialists, IT people who want to provide general help,
yes.
You're all needed.
They are youngsters. They're so talented. This is personal, but anyway, they are drawing 6-figure salaries, by banks, by some management companies, by investment companies. So these talented boys, they offer themselves. Our services are there, sir. Whenever you want, tell us. So I gave them a presentation. We had a big meeting with them. I have given them the task what to do. Then from time to time, I'm involving them. So inshallah, this organization will continue.
Makes sense. So people are hungry for rewards, where to go. And how many registered members are there in FSSO right now? And what is the current deductible per incident?
5,700. They are the members registered with us. And last deduction which was made, it was $9.40.
Okay.
Per head.
No, mashallah, like you're so sharp. You remember it to the decimal.
Yes. And this I'm telling the figure of 5 months before. Now, alhamdulillah, I'm receiving calls from the people. Hey, where are you people? Have you demolished? Have you closed the organization? I said, well, what came to your mind? Well, why are you asking this question? For 6 months almost, you did not take out even a single penny from our account. I said, you must be thankful to God, thankful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that people are alive. I said, we'll come to you when any member passes away, then we'll come. So I remember this was in May 1940, but I'm sure because after that we have so many members registered. I'm sure it has come down below the $9. It has come down below the $9. Inshallah.
Okay, so moving on to the questions within the chat box. Does FSSO cover cost for the plot or land for burial? And okay, that's the first part. Maybe we'll get through that and then move on to the second part of the question.
We have bought graves in different areas of the Ontario province, like Markham, Etobicoke, in Mississauga. We have bought the graves. Altogether, we have 41 graves reserved, in Toronto Muslim community. In the Etobicoke also, I forgot the name of the cemetery. And in Mavis and still intersection in Mississauga, we have the cemetery, very big cemetery. They have very big portions for Muslims. So Alhamdulillah, we have bought these graves there also. So these are backup. These are in the event something comes up where the graves are not available, so we'll use it. But now for the time being, graves are not that much expensive, and it's covered. In the whole package, graves, land, opening, closing, transportation, taking body, cleaning body, covering body, everything is covered. Family has to do nothing. They have to simple come for namaz janazah and accompany to the cemetery for burial. That's what they have to do.
That's such a relief in the time of
Alhamdulillah. 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 Alhamdulillah.
And we have someone wondering if they can include a family member if the family member is residing outside the GTA.
This is, outside Ontario or GTA?
Outside GTA.
Outside GTA, within Ontario, yes, they can do that. They can do that, and in every those areas also in those cities. For example, I will take London, Windsor on the west side. We do have the arrangement, and we'll take care of them. We'll take care of them, unless they want us that the body will be taken from that city to that city in the east. So in that case, as I told you before, if we have a set cost of transportation like $1,200. If they want to take the body from one place to the corner of the other east side, so then the cost will be different. So the difference they have to pay.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So services are strictly limited to folks who are living within Ontario.
Yeah. Because we got the permission for Ontario only, from the government. So we'll try to expand it and see if we can get permission for the whole Canada. Then inshallah, we'll find the people, we'll find the place, we'll find the facilities. We'll do that, inshallah.
Inshallah. The next question is with regards to the involvement of family in your operations. So someone's wondering if the family member can be involved in doing the ghusl.
There is no doubt about it. We never discriminate. We definitely do that. But for the time being, like we do have directors, they are taking care of it. Like in what sense family wants to involve?
Okay. On the note of involvement, this is more of a suggestion or a creative solution that is suggested by Brother Shamin here. So he's asking if a family member passes away in another country, can FSSO consider reimbursing a family member for travel expenses to go visit their family?
Sorry, this is not covered in our bylaws, in our regulations, so it will be more complicated. So unfortunately, we cannot do anything in this respect.
For sure, you have to have limits somewhere.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
The next and last question is, can adult children be added as a member?
That's a good question. Once a child becomes 19 years old, he's considered as per federal and provincial bylaws, like he's considered adult. So adult has to fill up a separate form. No doubt, parents can pay his fees, his or her fees, or reimbursement charges, but there will be separate form for them. So what they have to do, they have, he was registered under his parents and he became adult. In that case, he has to pay only $75 because his father, mother, his father, they paid in the beginning when they registered, they paid $25 administrative fees. Okay, so we don't charge admin fees from the children who were before like a child and now become adults. So they have to pay simply $75 and they can fill up the application form and send to us. We'll take care of that.
Perfect. So that's all the questions that I have here. Does anybody else have any other questions? Once again, you can input your question in the chat box. You can use the raise hand function on Zoom and you can speak, or you can also use the YouTube live chat. It's not an opportunity that we get every day, so I encourage everyone to take advantage of it. We'll give another couple minutes if people are thinking of questions or trying to figure out how to word their question. In the meanwhile, I just want to mention, so as part of the grant that we have received from the federal government, 15 seniors. So for the purposes of this program, the definition of senior is any individual who is above the age of 55. So a senior as well as their spouse, their fee for enrollment into the FSSO's funeral support service program will be waived. So you can visit MMAC's website, www.malayalimuslims.ca, to sign up. It's first come, first serve. So it's 15 seniors plus spouse. So it's a total of 30 individuals who can sign up for funeral support services free of charge. I hope I've given everyone some time to think of more questions.
Right. Right. It was a wonderful conference, and I really appreciate. I mean, you guys are well prepared. You prepare for yourselves. Dubai, I mean, you manage things very well. I must appreciate you all, for joining this conference and giving feedback to me also. God bless you. May Allah bless you wherever you are. So if there's anything more from me, I will stay. Let me know.
Thank you so much for your very generous parting note, Brother Naimuddin. So it looks like that's about it. That's all the questions. It looks like everyone's gotten the information that they need. Oh, no, wait. So there is another question. Can an individual book a grave through FSSO?
Yes. They can do that. What they have to do, whatever the prevailing cost of the grave is. One more thing, maybe is interesting for all of you. The government and the cemetery, they've allowed double grave. Mean in single grave, first of all, if there is single person to be buried, it will be, they will dig it out up to 5 meters, 5 feet. And if this double grave, they dig it up to 7 feet. So what happened? The same family, 2 members, they want to be buried in one grave. Like in my case, my parents are buried in one grave. They are buried in one grave. It's legally or Islamically allowed. So if someone wants this facility, they can do that. He can manage it. In that way, what happened? The burial cost of the, by the way, I mean, I just want to tell you, some people have donated some funds to buy some graves for needy and poor people. They are also doing that. So anybody, they don't have any source of income, they don't have any support from everywhere, we provide them this facility. So like members, a lot of members, they have bought their own grave. They bought their own grave, and at the same time, they gave us a will. look, myself, my wife will be buried in this grave. So you will be saving one grave cost. And please donate that one grave cost to those poor who need that. So we have a separate fund for that, donation fund separate. So what we do is that take the cost from there and put it there in the fund. And then we buy grave for anybody, any needy person or family member, they need it, we just help them out. This is what the practice is nowadays. I have maybe 5 or 6 members who have done this.
Wow, I had no idea 2 people could be buried in the same
Oh,
grave.
no. It's
Wow.
religiously allowed also. So this is what I just would like to about the graves purchase. If they can do that, they can do that. Whatever prevailing market rates are, you let them know, and they can pay us, and you just like the place where we have the graves, we just mark them for them. We just reserve them for them, and we'll take what cost we paid. They pay the same cost to us. That's all. And at the time of burial, if they want that this cost to be given to their family, we'll give them. Or if they want to donate this, we'll do that both ways, because they are paying the money. Now we don't have that much fund like we buy the grave, then allots to people without taking anything from them. No, we can. It's a pre-reservation. It is called pre-reservation. But now what we want, they pay us the money so that we could reserve the graves for us that we already have and buy another 2 graves for the other one. So this is what. And at the time, if they pass away, then they can give us instruction that this money of the grave that I paid may please be given to my family or donate whatever it is. So in both ways, we do have the facilities.
That's very beneficial information on how to maximize resources and how to
Yeah,
help somebody else if you have the means. And if you've been planning to get 2 separate graves,
yes.
maybe families having the same grave.
Yeah, I mean, like we have opened so many venues. What family wants, we are here to help them. I mean, we are not like no, you cannot do. No, we will help them. They want advance, they want grave, they want going to be reserved side by side. I mean, all we can do then, but they have to support us in the way as I told you. Pay us the money, pay the cost of the grave, so that we could buy another alternate grave for any other person, and then when they pass away, they can give us some undertaking that this amount to be returned to my family members or blah blah, or to donate to someone, something like this. We can guide them. When they approach us, I'll definitely talk to them, give them very good grades and guide them.
So many options, mashallah.
Oh, alhamdulillah. This what to facilitate the people, to make the job easy and fulfill their desire. What I mean, they fulfill their desire, what they want exactly. That's what our aim, and we'll inshallah do whatever we can do and take their particular dua.
Makes sense. On the note of fulfilling wishes, someone's asking if they can choose the location of the grave. Earlier, you had mentioned that you already pre-purchased some graves. So would people be able to share their preferences on where they would like to be buried?
Yeah, I mean, like, first of all, we consider where they live. If there's a cemetery very close to their house, we'll ask them in this cemetery we can bury. If they say no, the other cemetery where they're it happens with me. Some cases this is no, we are living there, so our parents and our relatives are buried in that cemetery. So definitely we'll move them to that cemetery and we'll find a place for them and we'll do that. We'll take care of them.
Perfect. So you make every effort to accommodate people's needs and wishes.
Definitely, that's what our aim is. I mean, that's what our objective is. I mean, like no precondition, nothing. What you say, give them as much facility as you can, whatever within your limit, and make them happy. That's all. Make the family happy for their loved ones. That's what the objective is.
For sure, for sure. The last question here is, how would the deductible be applied after the head of the family passes away? I imagine they're asking if you'll still charge the deductible once the head of the family passes away or the earning member of the family passes away?
Very good question. No, I mean, we will not deduct. Once the head of the family passes away, I mean, we will not deduct even a single penny from the widow or from any other person. They will still be our member, and we are still liable to take the full responsibility of the burial. Everything will be as it is. And what we do, once a person dies, the head of the family dies, you take out his name from the bank account, I mean, from the banking system. So there will be no more deduction from that family. Not at all.
I'm sure that's definitely very helpful, especially when families are grieving. So that's all the questions. So once again, Jazakallah khairan. Thank you so much, Brother Yasmine, as well as Sister Yasmine, for providing us information on how to enroll in the program. And once again, last but not the least, I should thank our sponsor, the Government of Canada, through the New Horizon Senior Program funding. Once again, thank you to everyone who joined us on a Friday night with not so bad weather. We're really appreciative that you're all here. And I really hope we will all benefit from services that FSSO is kindly facilitating for all of us, our families and our loved ones, our friends.
That's wonderful. I mean, one question. I mean, this conference, whatever we have discussed, are you recording that somewhere, or will I be able to get a copy of that so that, you know, I'll sit with my other members, board members, and I'll give them, show them that this what to, because they were unable to attend. At least I want to give them a brief, what type of questions were asked and how we conduct it, how we manage it, how I deliver this. So, inshallah, if you have, so.
For sure, yeah. So, Brother Naimuddin, the session is also being live streamed on YouTube. We have around 263 people listening.
Oh.
So it will be on YouTube. I will be able to share a link with you after the event.
Oh, okay, that's very good, very good. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much.
No problem, no problem. So that concludes the event. Thank you again, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. If you're interested in volunteering, do get in touch with FSSO. And as we mentioned earlier, for more information, visit MMAC's website, www.malayalimuslims.ca.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thanks.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.